Five astounding examples of pareidolia in outer space. Number 5. Oldest and most familiar examples of space pareidolia is the Horsehead Nebula, or Barnard 33, which is a cold and dark cloud of dust and gas silhouetted by the bright nebula IC 434. The Horsehead Nebula is located in the constellation Orion, and appears to be a side-on view of a horsehead. First noted in 1888, it is 1,500 light-years from Earth. The dark shadowing of the Horsehead Nebula is created by dust, but at the base of the nebula you can see bright spots which are young stars just being formed. The bright star just visible in the top left side of the Horsehead is a young star still embedded in the stellar nursery of gas and dust. The radiation from this young star is so powerful that it's starting to erode the cloud, so millions of years in the future, the Horsehead Nebula may not bear any resemblance to its current form. Number 4. The face on Mars. Another very well-known example of pareidolia in space is Cydonia Mensae, or the face on Mars. On July 25, 1976, NASA released a series of images snapped by the Viking spacecraft orbiters. These images depicted the Cydonia Mensae region of Mars, a region of flat-topped mesa-like formations. The first image showed what appeared to be a human face looking skyward. This was originally dismissed as trick of shadowing on the Martian rocks. A subsequent image, however, likewise showed what would become known as the face on Mars, even with the sun at a different angle. These images sparked decades of speculation about the possibility of life on Mars, and prompted talk of advanced civilizations which may have left behind giant, human-like memorials on the planet. Number 3. The Hand of Space, PSRB 150958. In what I believe to be one of the most beautiful examples of deep space pareidolia, we have an image taken of a pulsar called PSRB 150958. The image of the 150 light-year wide nebula was captured by the Chandra Observatory telescope. The rapidly rotating neutron star, or pulsar, is only 12 miles across, yet it has enough power to twist and sculpt the space around the nebula into the beautiful hand-like object we see in the photo. This hand appears to be almost reaching out to touch space itself. Number 2. Death Star and PacMan, Mimas. Mimas, one of Saturn's moons, was already the famous owner of one example of pareidolia. When the Voyager spacecraft returned images of Saturn's moons in the early 1980s, only several years had passed since the release of Star Wars Episode IV, A New Hope. This film, as many of the readers will know, featured the gigantic Death Star, with its powerful radar dish-like super laser. So when people saw the Voyager images of Mimas for the first time, and in particular the giant crater Herschel, they instantly recognized the similarity between Mimas and the Death Star. But Mimas had a second example of pareidolia in store for humans, this one even more strange than the first. When the Cassini spacecraft orbited Mimas in 2010, it used a thermal infrared spectrometer to map the planet in infrared. What they saw in the images baffled the scientists, and was instantly recognized by ordinary citizens as a giant depiction of the arcade game PacMan. Number 1. Space Wood, 8 to Carina Nebula. Taken by NASA's Spitzer Space Telescope, the photo shows a region of young star formation in the Eta Carina Nebula. Spitzer has captured a stellar nursery in action more than 10,000 light-years away. Thick, huge, dark pillars of dust house young stars being formed. With infrared, Spitzer can show how the young stars destroy the clouds of gas and dust from which they are born. In fact, the image shows a titanic battle between older first-generation stars, and the young stars still being formed. One interesting first-generation star in the system is Eta Carinae, which pumps out more energy than 1 million of our own suns. In the 1840s, Eta Carinae put out a burst of so much energy that it temporarily became the second brightest star in the heavens.